Hi, hello all. For those of you that still don't know me, I am Tagle, and today we are going to be sharing one of my favorite stories of the Bible. We are going to be learning about Abraham and the wonderful promise that God made Abraham. So please sit tight, put your head back, and be ready for this story and how the love of God transformed the life of a normal man called Abraham. So, are you ready? If you are ready, that is wonderful, but for this story, I really need your help. If you can help me during the story as you are sitting and relaxing your sofa, during the story, sometimes I am going to say the word good. If I say the word good, can you put your thumbs up? And if I say the word bad, put your thumbs down. So hopefully that is already good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. So we are ready. During this week, our big word of the week, can you remember what was the big word of the week? There you go, perfect. The big word of the week was covenant. And with that word, we learned that word was a deal that God made with humans. Last week, we learned about that covenant and promise that God made with Noah, that he will never, ever, ever again destroy the earth with rain. Even if the people were really bad, he will never destroy. So this week we are learning about a guy called Abraham. And Abraham lived some time after Noah. And all the people in the world began to be really bad. And God explored the whole earth and he noticed that almost everybody was bad. But amongst all of those bad people, there was one that was good. And it was called Abraham. So God said to Abraham, Abraham, come and follow me. And Abraham, that was good and not bad, decided to follow God. And God said to Abraham, Abraham, I am going to make a pact and a promise with you. This promise is going to be that I am going to give you a son. And from that son is going to grow a family that nobody is going to be able to count. I don't know if you are in your homeschooling at the moment and what number you can count. I have been learning about numbers, and so I am trying to remember my numbers, and so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! That's really good. And I'm going to try in Spanish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah! And that's really good when we learn how to count. I don't know what is the highest number that you can count. But in the promise of God for Abraham, he said, even if you go to the sea. And I tried and went to Valley Home Sea and I start counting the sand. And it was too much. I couldn't count it. And then I stay awake during the night and I look up in the sky to see all the stars. And I tried to count it. But they were too much. I couldn't count it. And God said, your family is going to be so big like the sun and the stars in the sky. Nobody else is going to be able to count it. And I imagine Abraham that was good, was really excited. Imagine in the middle of the world really bad, he was going to have a family full of good people that nobody else was able to count. But Abraham was impatient. Did that happen to you some days too? I don't know if you have that experience, but when I was told as a kid that we were going to the beach the next day, I stayed awake the whole night and I couldn't wait for going to the beach. And I always say this, are we there yet? Not yet. Are we there yet? Not yet. And I drove everybody crazy asking, are we there yet? Not yet. And Abraham then was good, did something bad, because he couldn't wait. He was asking, is my promise yet there? And God say, not yet, you have to wait. And Abraham say, but I am old and I am not going to be able to have my promise. Is my promise coming now? And God say, not yet. And Abraham then was good, did something bad. He just went on his own way to grab that promise because he couldn't wait, and he thought that God, that is always and forever good, was not going to fulfill the promise. But do you think even though Abraham did something bad, God was bad? No, God is always and forever good. And God said to Abraham, even though you did something bad, I am always and forever good, and I always fulfill my promise. So God gave Abraham, even when he was really, really old, like so old that I cannot even count the number, God gave a son, and the son was called Isaac. And do you know what is the beautiful thing? That son points us to one son. One that, like God, was always and forever good. Jesus Christ. And do you know that that promise that God made Abraham a zillions years ago was fulfilled completely in Jesus? And as we look all of those in the screen, and as you think everybody listening to the message of God this Sunday across the world, there are so many sons of God and daughters of God in this world, a world full of bad. But when God is always and forever good, then nobody is able to count us. And that is the promise of God. The promise is that in the world full of bad, He is always and forever good. And even if we cannot wait, He's going to fulfill His promise. So hopefully, we can wait in God. And even though we cannot count, and even though we cannot see, we know that He is always and forever good. Goodbye.